Let's stay with legal matters if we can. So the case against 3 officers accused of killing Eldorado Park teenager Nathaniel Julies returns to the High Court in Johannesburg today. In fact, the 16-year-old, who was also diagnosed with Down syndrome, was shot and killed just meters away from his home.
Our senior reporter Malungelo Booi joins us now here at the news desk for an update on the story. Malu, it's great to have you here in studio. I mean, this case has been going on for some months now. Sure. Can you give us a wrap of where we're at today?
So today, really, we're supposed to sort of like go into the pre-trial proceedings of this particular matter. What essentially that means is that everybody in court will essentially find out whether is this matter ready to go on trial. The last time this matter appeared at the High Court, it was in March, and at the time the defense lawyers for the 3 accused were very unhappy, saying that they had not received critical documents that they need so that they can be able to prepare for this matter. We'll find out then today if they've received everything that they needed so that this matter can finally get underway. Also, last time when this matter appeared in court, the family of Nathaniel Julies was not happy with the postponement because they're saying that they really want this matter to get underway because they also understand that they still have to relieve, everything that Nathaniel Julies went through.
I remember last time one of the officers who had been arrested said they've got new evidence that would supposedly lead to their acquittal. Whatever happened to that?
Well, there was really no new evidence whatsoever there. Essentially, in fact, that's Nchongolo, that's the 3rd accused. That's the officer that was granted bail in December last year. He was given about 10,000 rand bail. The only thing that he was able to provide to the court at the time was the new address. So that address is not essentially in Eldorado Park. But for me, what is also very interesting about this particular case is that if you look at the indictment that was served to these police officers in February when this matter was still at the Protea Magistrates Court, that indictment is actually quite detailed. It tells you how this teenager was killed, but it also gives you details, Michelle and Diana, as to who the state will rely on for a successful prosecution. If you recall, our conversation the last time was that the state has about what 51 witnesses that it will rely on for a successul prosecution, and 20 of those witnesses are police officers. Sure. And some of those police officers work in Eldorado Park. But we also know that some of those witnesses that will take a stand when this matter finally goes on trial are the doctors that treated Nathaniel Julies at Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital.
I think it's valuable, Malungelo, as we do the pre-trial hearing today, to also give our viewers who are tuning in for the first time and wanting some background to the story, to take us back to the day Nathaniel Julies was killed.
So it was in August 26th. It was in the evening. This young boy had gone to get biscuits at a shop just a few meters away from his home. He did not return home. He went to eat his biscuits next to an old car, and that's really where he met his death. And he saw this the blue lights, and that's when, we're told by residents in that particular area, that's when, these police officers apparently started to shoot at this boy. And when we were there, we could actually still see the blood stains on that old truck that's there. And I remember a moment I was on air, the stepdad of Nathaniel Julies came to us and actually told us that, the bullet that hit Nathaniel Julies had in fact riddled his chest, and we know that bullet that was used, it's an ammunition that is prohibited in this country. The question then, that's why there's the charge of the illegal possession of prohibited ammunition. The question then that will also arise is how this illegal ammunition was acquired by these police officers.
Yeah, the greater context is that Eldorado Park has been in the headlines for all the bad reasons in the lead up to that moment. Several promises were made by various officials who visited in the aftermath of this incident. Have we gotten any sense of whether or not those promises have been fulfilled? since that time?
I mean, one of the promises that was in fact said to community members in Eldorado Park was that police said that, in fact, it was the police minister that they will do everything possible to make sure that those that are behind this crime are actually brought to book. Well, few days after that particular incident, we saw the Independent Police Investigative Directorate being deployed to that particular area to begin with their investigations. Few days later, we saw these police officers being arrested. Now, the question then, I think for me, is when this matter finally goes to court, will Nathaniel get justice? That's the question really on everyone's mind.
Yeah, absolutely. Malungelo Booi is our senior reporter tracking that story. Thanks again for coming into studio, bringing us up to speed. Pre-trial hearing set down for the High Court in Johannesburg today, and of course you can catch it all right here on 405. Absolutely.
Let's remain in the courts now, and the case against the alleged mastermind in Pule's murder, that's in Tutugo Shoba, is expected to be back in the Eldorado Magistrates Court today. The state is expected to respond to Shoba's affidavit as he escalates his fight for bail on new facts, we're told. Now,
Shoba was Pule's boyfriend at the time of her passing, and she was 8 months pregnant at the time as well. Her lifeless body found in an open veld in Roodepoort in Durban Deep, west of Johannesburg. Accused number 1 in the case, Muzikayise Malepane, is already serving a 20-year